about anything. I've already stuck my foot in my mouth once. So surprised I haven't done it more than that, Joey. So. Yeah, that's the way we always were, and I never noticed how close it was. It's all right. We're sitting over here rearranging. So I'll trigger a seizure every time that goes off. So.
Yeah, I might have to put him out for bid. What he said, like the flooring and things, I have to put him out for bid.
So we'll just table these three.
Okay.
We ought to be okay on the spread. So.
Okay. And I can put something out there about it because
I'm sure he was going to tell us it's got to go to bid. So.
Yeah.
Because anything over $10,000 has to go to bid. So.
Yeah.
Like we could solicit the bid. You could put an ad in there and solicit the bid.
Yeah.
And then if nobody bids, then I think we're okay.
The bath. No, I do want to get on their books because they do book up quick, and I would like to get on their books.
But we're going to need
I have two.
You got two of those? All right.
Yeah.
Let's call 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. May I have a roll call, please, Nancy?
Sure. Gillis?
Here.
Smith? Here. Boggs?
Here.
Fleming?
Here.
Is Rose on remote?
Rose is on remote.
Hang on. Keep going.
Cruzen? Here. Thank you.
All right. At this time, I would entertain a motion to allow Dave Roos to attend our meeting remotely. Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Dave will be attending remotely, Nancy.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes from our last meeting. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns at this time, if not, I would entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion by Alex, a second by Jenny. That is all in favor. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. I have no correspondence this evening. Next item on the agenda is bills presented for payment for February 2024. Again, questions, comments, concerns, or a motion? I have a motion by Joey, a second by Alex to pay bills for February 2024 as presented. That is a roll call, please.
Boggs?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Rose? Can you hear me?
There's a delay.
Okay. Just go on.
Go on.
Cruzen?
Yes.
Gillis?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. We'll figure this out. Technology. Isn't it great? Next item on the agenda is the balance of accounts for January 2024. If anybody has any questions about those. All right. Thank you. Brings us to the TIF reports. We had an opening balance for the TIF account of $1,240,000, $1,240,324.66. We made a payment to Rita Young and to Tom Conklin. We also received some interest to give us an ending balance, $1,232,253.74. The CEDC also met 2 weeks ago, and at this time, I'd like to make the recommendation from the CEDC to the make recommendations from the CEDC to the council that we approve a residential redevelopment plan with David Nichols to demolish a house and a shed at the corner of Apple and Central. This would be a $10,000 redevelopment plan. Also, at this time, the CEDC would like to recommend to the council that for those people that take advantage of this residential and commercial demolitions, that we also then give them a 3-year real estate tax holiday, which allows them to reinvest money into that lot to get it back on our tax rolls. That is the recommendations from the CEDC at this time.
So is this just for the demolition of the house, or is there any plans for building something else?
David, you want to take that?
Sorry.
Yeah, so our plan is within 2 years.
Thank you. Why let me tell you when he's here? So, at this time, I'd entertain a motion to accept the CEDC recommendations.
Second.
I have a motion and from Joey, a second from Jenny. That is a roll call, please.
Fox.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Rose. Cruzen.
Yes.
How good. Cruzen.
Yes.
Gillis.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's keep moving. Next item on the agenda is the police department report for January 2024. Chief, would you like to add some color to this, please?
Yep, our ordinance for continuing now, the snow's going, we've got to see a little more what's going on. Our new K-9 vehicle's almost done. We had a delay in getting the K-9 insert, so it has taken almost a month longer than it should have, but now we're behind a couple vehicles. We're working on getting there, hopefully 2 weeks, should be ready to go. We had no issues during the parking ban, during the snowstorm. And one of the officers had a short pursuit through town and in Peoria County, and the driver was located without incident, taken to Fulton County on several charges.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for the chief on the report?
This is not in the report, but I just noticed that the car for the school is sitting. Is there something wrong with it this time?
There is something wrong with, I think, the trunk where they're trying to get, we have to have somebody look at it because it's all foreign stuff. I have no
Okay.
idea.
Okay. So nothing.
Nothing major. Sergeant's tech's supposed to be having a look at to see if we can get it fixed. Shouldn't be a big deal. It's just something, I know nothing about cars, so he knows more about it.
Motion to approve the police department report.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Farmington Police Department monthly report for January 24. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. That will carry. At this time, Chief, would you like to swear in your new full-time officer?
All right, this is Jeremiah Owen, graduated from Cone High School. He just finished up the part-time academy last month, and we notified that he passed everything, so he's ready to go. He will need to go to the transition 2-week class instead of the 4 months that we would have had to send somebody brand new. So go get him on the street a lot faster. He also lives outside of London Mills, so he's not very far away from here. So we need to get him here pretty quick. He met with the police commission this past weekend. We split up our deal in 2 different parts. We have the ones that had certification, the ones that did not. And the police commission wanted to interview the ones that had certification first before we went through. They suggested that we hire him.
Well, welcome to the city of Farmington.
Thank you. They will be sometime in June or July. I don't really know. It's just when the state feels like putting it on, and then they send me an email, and then he goes. But he can work right away with us since he's already got his time. So all I have to do is get him up an FTO, start getting him trained, and he'll be out on his own. We've had to do this before a couple of years ago, but one of my other officers I had, she had the part-time. We had her on the road working, and then about 6 months later, she went off for 2-week transition. Relatively soon, really.
Very good. Nancy, do you want to take care of the swearing
Do you
in?
need a motion or anything from us?
No.
No? Okay.
We'll stand up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Nancy's favorite part of the whole job.
Okay. And stand right here, facing me in that video now.
Okay.
And you just raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Okay.
I state your name,
I, Jeremiah Olm,
having been appointed to the position of a full-time police officer for the city of Farmington
I have been appointed to the position of a full-time police officer for the city of Farmington
in the counties of Fulton and Peoria, aforesaid,
in the counties of Fulton and Peoria, aforesaid,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the state of Illinois
do solemnly swear that I affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties and abide by the code and conduct of the position of a full-time police officer
and that I will fully discharge the duties and abilities of the code of conduct of the position of a full-time police officer,
both on and off duty to the best of my ability.
both on duty and off duty to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. Now you'll sign
We do need you to sign.
this one too. There's one and you get to go home and frame one.
Okay.
Suitable for
refrigerator.
framing. So,
Sorry, my hands are cold.
yeah, you're right. I don't think it matters which one we keep. Do it. I think Byron will tell you that Nancy did a heck of a better job than I did as well.
Oh, you should shake it. Would you mind shake his hand? No, I apologize for my hand.
Those are the troublemakers there in the back. We welcome you. Looking forward to meeting you as we go, and thank you for being willing to take this on. All right. So, Chris, that leads us to your last item, which is the flock cameras. And I know Chris Kelly's here. And do you have somebody that's
Yeah, I'm trying to see if, hey, Hector, are you there? Okay, all right, Hector from Flock Cameras, I'll flip him around here, maybe put it closer to the speaker. He's the one that I've been talking to a bunch to get this flock system going. He can answer any questions you have. I wanted him, he's the most expert person I know about this. So he's willing to be here tonight to answer any questions you may have about the system and anything else. See if we can get something close to. I got it turned up. I was what good is gonna get for today. So, I know we had some questions about how long to store our camera stuff and who has access to it. So, Vic, Hector, do you want to go through some of that with them?
Certainly. Good evening, representatives. We're talking about this. And the beginner's manager of the flock season. It's a pleasure. Very well tonight. I just want to just give you all a little bit of background on flock. You know, we try to get to the residents about on and let them know that we like to take it to the first so that's where we got our number of services. And to answer your question, specifically on retention, our standard retention is 30 days here. However, we see that during this industry, that 30 days now is the I've seen the time long-term retention data. The ability to solve crime, it's not important that way, right? Let's say somebody doesn't notice that's something that's stolen, for a couple of weeks, it doesn't report it, right? Things kind of going to investigate, so it's really that balance right there. And then as far as access to the data, long does not have access to the data that is owned by the department, and it will be shared by the department system for people, law enforcement purposes.
I think the last question that we had during one of our last meetings were specifically on the data retention policy. So right now you have it at 30 days. Is there any way to change that, to shorten it or lengthen that? Or is it set as a, by your company at 30 days? And that's
So that's our standard retention. There's some communities is that, longer retention, and other communities that those have a shorter retention, that's
So we could move it to a shorter time frame.
Yes. And as far as access, how can we put controls on there to limit access to either Illinois agencies or agencies within our vicinity? Are there any controls that can be put on the data as it's shared? So in theory, someone in Texas can't log into our cameras for whatever reason without a good, without asking for permission.
Certainly, so your, you as a department have the ability to provide access on, law enforcement departments, like, so that, any department inside of the state of Illinois actually have to, check off that they are using, what. So there's, actually another system in your state, so that we find that you need to see on the borders of your state. But again, you are all the one that have the ability to share, and you also can, that's the thing, you add to your policy. So,
He sent me a policy, sample that a lot of departments use where I can change everything. I also have to, it'll be audited too, so we'll know who's looking at what, why, generally. But that will be something that'll be put in the general orders as well, that all officers have to follow, and if they don't, then they could be, all the way to termination really, so written suspension, termination, depends on what kind of violation it is.
Further questions?
Chris, what would you like to see? How long?
30 days.
30 days.
Would you like to see a limit of who we share with?
Yeah, because I have to approve if they can come see it. So if they want to come see our cameras, I have to approve it. And if I don't approve it, then they can't come see it.
So this isn't something that they're accessing from a database. They have to physically come here and see it?
They have
or-
to ask me through the app.
Okay, so you have to approve
Yeah.
anything. Okay.
And I'm not going to approve everybody if, there's no reason.
And so, just so I'm clear too, is like even no one can just run somebody's license plate right now just because they feel like they want to know who it is. There
Right.
has to be a
Yeah.
good reason
Yeah,
for
I
that.
get audited by the state of Illinois for running license plates or if we run a criminal history. Like they know how many criminal histories our officers run and they want to know why. You're not just allowed to do it just because you feel like it. And if they notice a pattern, they will definitely audit right away. They don't wait around.
Can I ask a question just for not necessarily the flex system, but how our department manages those searches? When you put out your police report, could you also include just the number of times that system was used to pull a plate every month? So
Yeah.
that we could keep an eye on that, saying, well, why did it grow exponentially? Or would that be something that's acceptable?
I can put it on there. So I'll have Hector show me exactly where to find all this stuff. So, and he's been pretty good about, he's taught me a lot just in the last couple of weeks, just talking to him about the system that I didn't really know. So it's been nice getting to know him. He's a big help.
I like that idea too. I mean, if we're spending the money on this, then it would be nice to know what crimes it hasn't prevented, what hasn't helped solve. I mean,
Has it been used, how we really needed it, all of those things,
Yeah.
just to give a look.
also transparency.
And I think Chris had a couple of things that happened out in the county that he knows about more than I do. And I want to share with him.
So when I put it right.
Step on up to the podium.
Yeah, come up here.
Good evening. This will be under an hour, and there will be a test at the end, open notes. Right back there, you guys are troublemakers. For those who don't know me, I'm the Director of Emergency Management for Farmington County for the last 20 years, and I've been doing 911 for the last 7. That and $2 will get you a cup of coffee at Casey's. I'm here tonight to discuss kind of some background on the block camera system. I read last month that the council had discussed implementation of the program, and I was on the fence. I was kind of not interested and didn't really care. Didn't feel like it was my place to get involved. That all changed last month. I was at home sitting in my office doing paperwork, and I leave a radio run just to kind of keep an ear on things. And a 911 call came into the county. A lady lives alone out in the country. She was not at home. She had a camera appearing on her security covers. Her car appearing on her security cameras. She didn't know who it was. She called 911. Deputies responded, and they didn't see anyone that was there. So the dispatcher logged into the block camera system to see what was going on. The car in question showed up. It was in the area. They were able to quickly locate and apprehend the person involved. The woman was being victimized by a stalker. She had no contact order against the gentleman. The gentleman had a firearm. This was late in the evening. It's so easy to understand this system and look at it as a monitoring or as a history or something along that line. I think we need to look at this from different angles. This can be used very, very easily in the event of a missing person. We had a call in Cuba last year. You didn't have the block camera system at this time. But it was an Alzheimer's patient. She had a car. She drove off very easily to have assumed that she drove off and out of the area. He organized a search, put up air assets, and located the car. Imagine if she had drove off. You could use this system quickly to see if the car drove through these areas. We have a large school in the county that actually in the city, that's an oddity. It's in 2 different counties, but still within city limits. If you pull IDOT travel data, Fulton County ranks 22 out of 102 counties in the Idaho report regarding annual vehicle mile travel. Couple that with the fact that there's approximately 1,200 students at that school. This could be used during an incident to see if, a young man that's troubled leaves school, which direction to go. There's at least 2 different pathways. It opens a lot of potential doors. I understand concerns about privacy. I'm a pretty big component of it. I would like to thank Council Member Boggs for talking to me about the system. It was great. I just ask that we don't look at this as a standalone law enforcement tool for crime. There's so much more that it can do. And I was on the fence, but after that call where a young woman was being victimized by a stalker, went home that night, I immediately called Councilman Boggs the next day and said, hey, let's talk. He met with me. We discussed it. I called the chief, and I really appreciate both their involvement. That's all I've got. And I'm open for any questions, concerns, or snacks. So.
Snacks are in my office.
Thank you, sir. In route.
Thank you, Chris. Anybody else have any further questions for Chris or for Hector or for the chief?
Still have the same concerns on the system.
Would you guys like to see this come as an action item in 2 weeks?
Yes.
All right. So we'll put it on. The chief has an open door. If you have any questions, concerns, or you need to know more information, please get a hold of him and we'll bring those forward, but we'll make this an action item the next time. Thank you. Thank you, Hector, for meeting with us tonight.
Happy birthday to
All right. So we will have that as an action item in 2 weeks. Let's keep moving. We have an item under old business. This is a discussion possible action, ordinance 2024-1 that I really like to read as the title. 2024-1.
as title only. I'll second that.
I have a motion from Joey, a second from Alex to read ordinance 2024-1 as title only. That is a roll call, please.
Box,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Thank you. Cruzen,
Yes.
Gillis,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, this is City of Farmington, Illinois, ordinance number 2024-1, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a TIF redevelopment agreement by and between the City of Farmington, Fulton County, Illinois, and Farmington Forward LLC. That is your first reading of ordinance 2024-1.
Make the motion that we waive second reading of ordinance number 2024-1.
Second.
I have a motion and a second by Nate, I believe. That is a roll call, please, to waive second reading.
Boggs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Cruzen,
Yes.
Gillis,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 2024-1. Second.
I have a motion from Joey, a second by Nate to adopt ordinance number 2024-1. That is a roll call, please, Nancy.
Boggs,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Cruzen,
Yes.
Gillis,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That is the end of old business. Leads us to new business. First couple of items we're going to table right off the top. We've got to get more quotes because of the money, but this is trying to give you guys an update of Bettina's still working on getting this building more habitable for windows and flooring. The windows, I think, are necessary. That will make this building much more efficient. But we will have more quotes for those for you coming back in 2 weeks. But this will kind of give you an overview of where we are money-wise that you guys can look at. You say there's two.
Mhm.
For last one, I'm going to turn this over to Bettina. She has two different quotes here for refinishing the floors in the restrooms.
That's the 3 restrooms, the 2 large restrooms on the north end of the building, and then the small private restroom across from the offices. I got 2 quotes. The first one, you'll see it's $17,575. It looks like they just go over the tile with epoxy. I called. I asked my brother, who do you recommend? I've called around a few different places. I Googled, called a lot of places, and came up with Logan Corsaw from Corsaw Lumber in Ellisville. And he does premier epoxy. He said what works best is getting rid of all of the tile, kind of grinding down the concrete, and then putting the epoxy over the concrete. Because if you don't get rid of the tile, then if something happens, the tile starts to pop up, then the epoxy will then pop up. So you get a better adhesion when you eliminate the tile in the middle. So that's why his quote is where it is, but it still comes way under the Miracle Method. Our Public Works is going to get rid of everything in the restrooms and have the ceiling painted. They will come in, get rid of the tile, grind everything down, and then put down the epoxy. I chose, he has a ton of colors, and we can ask for his color palette, but there was a black one with gray flake, and it kind of, they call it carbon, and I thought that was a neutral color that in 10 years, if you want to paint the walls red, hot pink, baby blue, it kind of goes with anything. And then we would paint and then put back all stalls and any toilets, fixtures, paint the walls.
So this will be a major remodel of those bathrooms down there. We'll get rid of the things that don't work. Shiloh's already got it set up where he can spray the stalls similar to what they did out at Jacobs and give the bathroom really a real refresh without costing us a lot of money. The floor is basically where most of our money is going to be because they will take fixtures out of the junior high and such and refurbish them and make them work.
Is it necessary to keep as many toilets in the
Yeah, we're not
bathroom?
going to. We're going to get rid of probably 2 stalls in the women's, and then I think two or three urinals. We'll leave 2 urinals and then leave the stalls in the middle.
And we'll, of course, we'll have to have the handicap stuff, but we've got all the materials. They will just clean it up and give that bathroom a real refresh and make it easy to clean as well and make it so everything works.
Sinks and faucet handles are,
Who cleans the building right now? Nobody, right?
Nobody.
So we'll have to maybe.
We're gonna have to do something about that as well.
yeah.
So there are 2 quotes in here, and if you guys are interested, I would take a motion on one.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They all kind of say RP lumber and I don't.
Oh,
know.
no, go to the Miracle Method and the Premier Epoxy. Those are the floors. Yeah.
And I saw
I'm say
this,
there's
I'm like, where's
the
other
2
one?
RP lumbers, do look at those at some point because those are 2 different quotes for windows. And I've reached out to numerous people. Chasing down windows. A lot of people don't want to do the windows because they're so huge. So Miracle Method came in at $17,575 and Premier Epoxy came in at $8,640. And that is with getting rid of the tile in the bathroom. So there'll be a better.
It'll be very similar to what they did at Jacobs and at this pub, the city garage.
And if anybody has been into the locker plant lately, this company, the Premier Epoxy, did the flooring in the locker plant. And it's the same color that I was kind of choosing for here. Like I said, just kind of a universal neutral color that could last forever. And later on down the road, anything can be painted to match.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the Premier Epoxy bid.
I have a motion from Joey,
Second.
a second by Nate. That's gonna be a roll call, please, to accept the Premier Epoxy bid for $8,640.
Fox,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Cruzen,
Yes.
Gillis,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and get a hold of him. And then I'm gonna let you talk about this salt spreader.
All right, so Shiloh has came and asked for a salt spreader. There's one sitting outside of Davis Ford, or is it Uline? I think it's kind of by the Ford dealership. Linex. It is a center spreader, and the spreader right now that we have is off to the side. It's off to the right side. So when it's in the back of the truck, the salt comes out of the right side. So it'll spray more of the curbing rather than the center of the street and where the cars actually are. So on our narrow roads, it's not exactly the most efficient, and he feels that we waste more salt this way, especially when you're going down a dead end road, a cul-de-sac, or things like that. He feels that the center spreader would get more of the center of the road and parts of the road where the cars travel at, which is where we need the salt the most. And this particular unit can fit in any truck that we have. The salt spreader that we have now only goes in one truck. So if that truck were to go down, the salt spreader were to break, we don't have any backups other than probably somebody out there with a coffee can in the street.
Do we know what this unit costs new?
New, I think it's like 7,000, 9,000. But when I was looking them up online, they were a lot more expensive than this.
Do we spread salt or is it a cinder mix?
It's a cinder salt mix.
This would be able to handle that cinder salt mix.
Yes.
And then right now, like I said, we have one truck that goes out and salts everything. So if we get 2 trucks out there, more efficient.
And this will fit in any of our pickups.
Any of them.
Whereas the other one is just on the big truck.
Is this just one unit?
Yeah.
Yep.
2 different views. It holds a lot of salt.
It'll fit in our 8-foot bed.
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase the salt spreader for $4,000.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nate. That's a roll call, please.
Fox,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Cruzen,
Yes.
Gillis,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Thank you.
And if we buy this, maybe we won't need to use it.
Well,
At least one.
Money well spent. All right, that is the end of new business. We got committee reports. Jenny, do you have anything further? Thank you. Joey, do you have anything further this evening? Thank you. Nate, on sewer, anything?
Nothing, sir.
Thank you. Alex,
Nothing.
thank you. Leslie on Parks and Rec.
Nothing.
Thank you. Dave, you have anything publics and grounds to add?
Nothing to report, sir.
Thank you. In the audience? Carolyn?
Farmers Closet would like to know if we could possibly please use Reed Park on August 25th on a Sunday for the school bash.
Yeah, put it in writing for me so we won't forget. Anybody have a problem with that? Sorry, I shouldn't have spoke for everybody.
One other thing. Could we please, back in the day, general comments were at the top also. Could we have them put back on the top? Because it seems like if there's something in the agenda the public would like to speak on, we have to wait till it's already over to speak.
Well,
on it.
anytime we have something that somebody would like to speak on, all we got to do is raise their hand.
You know.
So those top comments were never put in by the way that they were contractually. Somebody just put those in. But when I read I'll look at it.
That was,
And,
you know, we did that for years.
well, it seems maybe it wasn't exactly right. Point noted. Okay, I'll take it under advisement. How's that? Anybody else? Going once, twice? A motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? Thank you.